Welcome back. Now, after months of signaling he would be defecting from the main opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, Governor Umaino of Akwa Ibom State has officially made the switch. He did so at a ceremony in Uyo, the state capital. His defection makes him the second PDP governor in the South-South region to join the APC in less than 2 months after Governor Sheriff Oborowori of Delta State. Now, addressing the crowd during the defection ceremony, Umaino said he took the action after an extensive consultation, now 3 months of consultation with key political stakeholders in the state. But then one of his commissioners decided not to go with him, and that is the Commissioner for Information of the state, who has chosen to remain in the PDP. He tendered his resignation shortly after the governor defected. So he's obviously not gone with the governor. He's decided to stay in the PDP, saying that, well, his principles would not allow him to cross over to the APC, a party that he had long criticized. Well, the APC has a new addition now, controlling over 30 states now in the country. Joining me to discuss this is Libros Oshoma, a political affairs analyst and a legal practitioner. Libros, the APC has a new addition. I think that will bring maybe close to 30 or probably 31 or so. What do you make of this latest defection?
Thank you, DEJI. It is not new. The moment the governor of Delta State, Sheriff Oborowori, defected, it was in the news that governor of Akwa Ibom State had completed his signing or completed medicals for APC, like they say in football parlance. and so it was just a matter of time for him to officially, pen his signature for the APC. And that's basically what we see today. So, and like we say, Nigerian politics or Nigerian democracy, we should look for a different name for it. Certainly, it's not the kind of democracy that is practiced in America. So I think initially they toyed with the idea of homegrown, but now maybe they should remove the word democracy from it, because remember Hollywood, they just added the wood to it, it became Nollywood. So for Nigeria, we can look for a name for our brand of politics of democracy. Yeah, because the rate at which governors have defected, it is not even new. Remember, in the days of PDP, I think the second term of Obasanjo, we saw how, even though they didn't defect, we saw how Obasanjo had an alliance with the opposition governors and who campaigned for endorsed him, campaigned for him. But eventually, they were swept away, by that alliance. At the point, I think the PDP had about 32 governors, of the 36 states. But a time came also when it was time for the PDP to leave office. Certainly, they did leave. So governors defecting, for me, it's a normal thing in our politics. But this one is different because the recklessness with which they are doing it, it's what's making it, different from the days of PDP. It's almost like before we hear of members in the House, parliamentarians defect, with reckless abandon, but the provisos to and the interpretation of the Supreme Court in those sections in the Constitution, I think Section 109, Section 69 or so, that restricts the division in the party, also puts, a cap to that. But we still see all of those defections. Because I can tell you, members in the House in Akwa Ibom also are going to certainly follow.
Yeah, we understand that.
Kudos to the governor, to the commissioner who refused to follow the governor. And for me, when I say kudos, we're in a climb where people hardly resign. And so for him, to his community people by now probably would have been criticizing him. For him to say, look, I have criticized this party for so long, I cannot be seen now, eulogizing or going back to my vomit. And so I would rather, throw in the towel. It's a different kind of behavior and attitude that we see in our politics, and kudos to him. But the thing is, will the PDP, that is almost a pack, a falling pack, appreciate this kind of human beings? Will they give them responsibility at the national level, to be able to at least thread the party together? I doubt that. That's why the party is crumbling the way it is.
Well, okay, so actually the APC controls 24 states now, not 30. So the APC now controls 24 states. The PDP controls 10. It used to be 11, so it's come down to 10 now with the defection of Umoino. And you have 2 controlled by other parties. You have in Anambra, you have Abga, and in Abia, of course, you have the Labour Party. So 24 out of 36 controlled by the APC. What exactly does this mean for the APC?
Yeah, certainly. Sorry, I think it was 26. There was a time PDP was controlling 26 states out of 36. Was it 26 or 28 or so? At the point,
I think
it was almost a one-party state for them.
Yes.
So what this certainly means for APC, I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu probably would not want to take the chances with what the governors would not want to take the chances with what happened with to the governors in the Southwest in 2003 election, where they remained in their party and decided to throw their weight behind the then presidential candidate of the PDP, Olusegun Obasanjo. But unfortunately, the permutation swept them away while they were supporting the president, the then president. The president's candidate, party's candidate, won the governorship election, in that alliance. So for these governors, they probably will not want a repeat of that. It's either they are in or they are not, or they are out. So we've seen another one defected. Whether they are people, the people that voted them into office, also subscribe to their movement. It's a different ball game altogether.
Well, the governor gave the impression.
Reveal. But, sorry, quickly. But we know that even though political parties are the vehicle for conducting or contesting election in Nigeria, we also know that the governors have, very strong influence in their states because they have a lot of largesse to distribute. So to that extent, you can say, yes, it's a positive one for APC. For Akwa Ibom was a PDP state, and then now it has moved full swing to APC, just the same way Delta, right from 1999, Delta had always been a PDP, and this is the first time they are in APC. So you can say it's a plus for APC and for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, especially given now that you have a lot of political heavyweights who are angry with him, who do not like, the fact that his policies and all of that, who are trying to find a common ground, to oust him from office in 2027.
Look, the governor said he consulted widely, that he consulted very, very widely, that it took him 3 months. Of course, I wouldn't know the people he consulted, but he said he consulted widely, and and that he got their nod. He got all the people he consulted, that he got their nod to move. If I may ask you, laborers, looking at this very closely, why do you think the governor chose to defect? I can understand the PDP is not what it used to be, and of course, their effort to even resolve their crisis has been quite tepid, to be candid. But couldn't the governor couldn't he have just stayed back and probably helped to try resolve the problem in the PDP?
I will look at it from 2 instances. Goodluck Jonathan's tenure in 2014 to the general election in 2015. There was this conspiracy of connivance against the presidency, especially from the north, with the help or assistance from politicians from the southwest, people like the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And one of the things that some of the southern politicians felt was that Goodluck Jonathan being a Southerner, not being a Northerner, and from a minority group in the south, that he wasn't good enough to be president. And so the northern political elite ganged up in solidarity with a few persons from the South, and then ousted him. Even some northern politicians who were in his party, including his then national chairman, the PDP national chairman, a former governor in Bauchi, also, didn't support him openly. So now also, Buhari came, Buhari was not any better. And now immediately, just few years or a year plus after the tenure of Buhari, when Buhari was in power, there was a conspiracy of silence amongst these political elites in the north. And for the first time, now they are suddenly finding their voice, and that they love Nigerians so much, they want to take back power and send Tinubu back to Lagos. I think, that narrative will not certainly sound, pleasing to the ears of the Southerners, especially some governors in the South who also feel that someday they can, aspire to get to that highest office. So I think against that backdrop, some of these governors also will feel, look, we can always throw our weight behind one of our own. He was a former governor, he was a senator. We have one of theirs, who is a Southerner, who is now the president. Let it now become a tug of war between the South, the middle belt, and then the North. So that's one of the factors. Then secondly, this for me now, it has nothing to do with their politics or the decisions to decide to defect. It's about the Nigerian people. I think it is high time also that we should have a proviso in our law, because certainly there is none on if the Supreme Court has said that the mandate actually belongs to the political party, and if the political party, contest election, and that the one that they went to canvass for vote, for a governor to just take that mandate to another political party is a disservice to that party that actually, fought tooth and nail to win it at the poll. So there should be a proviso in our laws that once you win
proviso,
an election,
but that law would have to be made by the politicians.
But,
are you sure they'll be willing to do that?
That's another thing altogether. That's another thing. But the question here now is that, coming to the issue of the fight in PDP, you'll find out that the PDP, its personal interest is almost tearing at the soul of PDP. You have one of the strong backers of PDP, former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, with one foot in PDP, one foot in APC. And you can, DEJI, you remember when the likes of Atiku and Co. pulled the rug off the feet of Goodluck Jonathan in 2014, the 2014 Congress in PDP, Atiku and about 7 governors, 2 later came back. It was, and then after that election that the PDP, fought the battle of their life between the McAfee faction and the Modu Sherif faction. People like Governor Wike were the ones that held PDP together. Atiku was nowhere to be found. It was true. When he couldn't get a ticket in APC that he came back to PDP. And I think that is what people like Wike is still fighting tooth and nail today, that you can't stray the party together and then somebody come from somewhere and just want to take it from you. So that thing is actually tearing at the soul of PDP. And with the coalition now, they are even not they are looking beyond PDP, which means even to them, PDP was just to serve as a vehicle and that they can drop it at any time. So all of these are in the mix, and that's why some of the governors also will look at it, broadly and feel, look, even if you try to resolve these people, ambition will definitely not resolve the issues in PDP, considering the fact that APC is actually the government in power. If it was PDP that was in power, then it would have been easy for them to resolve the crisis. But the fact that it's an APC government, and then you have some of them serving in APC government, certainly to be difficult to resolve. And we can also not shy away from the fact that some of these governors, even though they were in PDP, they had a political associate that they had nominated to serve in the APC government. So
that's true.
So they're all the same.
That's true. All right, we'll just have to leave it there. Libra Soshoma, thanks a lot for coming on the program, and thanks so very much for your time.
My pleasure, always.
Thank you. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us, don't go away.